Double up. 3 or 4 times, I ain't telling no lies, I just run it up. Never let a hard time humble us.
What it is, what it do, what's poppin', good people. This your boy Marquise Q Sav in the building.
It's your boy Trigger Trey Knight in the building again.
Hey, what's good with you? It's Red Rashad.
Hey, people of God, it's Juwan Reverend McLean.
What's going on, fellas? Going on? We're back with another series of our lockdown series, part 2. That boy's all right.
Hey, try to make it through this lockdown,
You know, making moves, hustling, grinding, doing the same old.
I ain't going outside today.
Well, people all have been like acting like we're not on lockdown. Like, wasn't some people exercising in front of the State House not too long ago?
Like 10 of them.
Man, you know they
I don't. Nobody's in Colombia. Nobody in Colombia is taking this serious, bro.
Heck no.
That might be a problem, but you know.
I mean, look, when the corona get them, I bet you they'll take it serious.
Yeah, that corona kind of hitting too close to home right now, but that's not a topic of discussion today. As you all know, our real Nipsey Hussle fans out there, that was our intro music. Today's the 1-year anniversary of Nipsey Hussle's passing. Last year, getting shot, gunned down. So we're just trying to pay our respects to Nipsey and also kind of have an open discussion about his legacy, what he meant. Where's Nipsey from? Is it Compton?
Compton, California, baby.
Compton, California. His impact with Compton, California, and this is open discussion. So we have Deputy Sharon Knight in the building.
You ain't got to let them know the feds here.
They already know that.
Hey, look, I can be undercover right now. Yeah, I can be undercover right now.
Feds did the sweep.
But Sharon, you're a big Nipsey Hussle fan. What's your take on Nipsey Hussle, his legacy, him being a person, businessman? Like, what do you have to say about his legacy and what he left behind after he passed away?
I can always tell people and articulate to everybody that Nipsey he came from a place of growth. Like, Nipsey has always been in a mindset of bettering himself, bettering others, and bettering his community. Mm-hmm. Like I said, Nipsey he was a part of the streets, but during his street life, like I said, he was a very, knowledgeable, person. Yeah. He didn't, just subject himself to live the street life and not know nothing. He was all for putting his name out there, getting into businesses, real estate, getting his own brand. And I think that's what a lot of people decided to go after, was get their own brand for themselves. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what he preached the most, is like, if you focus on self-growth, if you focus on yourself and bettering yourself and your family, like I said, everything will prosper and you'll get through, those worst days and, even the good days. And, like I said, when I look up to him and when I see Nip, I see a hustling, loving family person, a caring dude that, that his life got taken, way too soon. And like I said, I just let everybody know that, we always going to love and respect Nip, and, Nip going to live forever through everybody. So
the marathon continues, right?
Amen.
That's a fact.
That's a big fact.
I never really listened to Nipsey Hussle before he passed away, so I'm not gonna try to vouch or say I was a Nipsey Hussle fan, ride or die. But I know Nipsey more as the person that impacted the community, not so much as the musician or the artist. Yeah. So do you? How do y'all feel? Do y'all know Nipsey as an artist? Y'all know him as a humanitarian that he was?
I feel like I knew him through his music, but I feel like his music was only one side of him. I feel like if you didn't know who he was completely and know who he was, like what he was doing for the community and what he was doing for especially young African American males in Compton, California, and certain programs and stuff that he set up and everything. Yeah, I feel like that spoke way more than his rap career ever did. Right. Even though rap was his stepping stone to get that platform, I really felt like he was one of those rappers that figured it out. Yeah, he was one of those guys that came up in the hood, came up in humble beginnings, but he figured it out. And a lot of people still don't get that. You have a lot of rappers today that still talk about selling work or on the corner hustling when they in Beverly Hills. Yeah. They're not even living that lifestyle no more. So I really feel like Nip was real, and he never rapped about nothing that he didn't live through, right? And he never rapped about nothing that he wasn't doing at that time. Everything he was doing at that time, he rapped about. And I feel like that's something a lot of rappers and a lot of artists should take from.
I mean, for me, I'm like you. I didn't really listen to Nipsey a lot. But I knew him for his activism, because I like stuff like that. But when he built science and high-tech learning centers in LA, in the communities he grew up in. That spoke a lot to me, because once he made it, he ain't no scientist, but he know I guess what the community needed. So he started like building different little centers and start flipping real estate. Like he was like a man of many trades. He wasn't like one dimensional.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. I mean, you have artists like Roddy Ricch, Kendrick Lamar, Compton natives that are telling people that, you know, Nipsey was our neighborhood hero. You know what I'm saying? Like, we looked up to Nipsey. Like, you know, you have like the Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X's of like the civil rights movement, but like they have like a hometown hero to like look up to. I feel like Nipsey, you know, filled in all those roles that, you know, a lot of, you know, people, especially coming from the hood, you know, kind of needed that person I look up to. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely can feel that. Like I said, Sean hit on it, like on a good point of it. Like, you know, he's not just the music. You know, he was the voice for the younger generation and, you know, the older generation. Like I said, he brought jobs to the community. Like I said, jobs that weren't coming to that community. He bought up, you know, different lots and different, you know, businesses to put jobs out there for the people that, you know, couldn't make it somewhere, or they didn't have, you know, a degree, or, you know, they had a troubled past and they couldn't get certain jobs, but he opened those businesses up to them to help have a gateway for, you know, a lot of people to get some type of income to, you know, bring back to the streets, you know, off of Slauson. And, you know, like I said, that marathon store, that was a big symbol. Like, you know, it was from a start. You know, they didn't want to see the marathon store get anywhere. Like, you know, Nip always, you know, him and Black Sam, they always talk about how when they was on the corner, like I said, cops always come up and try to tell them they got to get off the corner. They can't be selling that stuff right there. And then, you know, try to figure out how much it was to rent out the marathon, you know, and they got it. And, you know, business grew. And like I said, everybody recognized that Nip was, you know, a hard worker, a hustler. And, you know, he got his business out there, his music out there. And like I said, Jay-Z and all these other artists, they respect Nip. They saw his hustle and they say, hey, man, you know, the industry was not ready for Nip and how, you know, he sold Crenshaw. When he sold Crenshaw, you know, for $100, you know, what other person you know is selling a mixtape or an album for $100 and making profit off of it, good profit. And, you know, like I said, that took the music industry by storm, and everybody wasn't ready for that. Like I said, you know, companies, major record label companies was like, dang, who is this guy? Like, you know, he can sell a mixtape for $100 and make good profit of it and survive off of it. Yeah. You know, and that just shows you the determination by a young brother that's out there getting it, man. And, you know, I think that's what Nip would want all of us to do. You know, give back to our communities. Like I said, you know, we from, you know, Florence, the 843. You know, how we have our, you know, hopes and dreams of, you know, like I said, making our city proud and giving back. And so, you know, like I said, he's definitely a big influence to all of us. And, you know, no matter if it's through the music or through his business ventures, you know, we always respect the hustle and the grind that Nip, you know, put out there and put forth. So,
yeah, I mean, I felt like there was like a big shift in like artists that were just focused on making music to actually like invest in themselves and like trying to like actually make the money grow for them. I know Roddy Ricch said that the first time he met Kendrick Lamar, he was just worried about like making beats and like making his music better. But the second time he met Kendrick Lamar, he was like, how do I make, where do I put my money at? Like, how do I make my money work for me?
Facts.
So I felt like Nipsey Hussle, if I was to, you know, say anything like where he left off, you know, when he left this earth, would be kind of the mindset to allow people to know their worth a lot more than what, you know, they're worth right now. Because like, you have a lot of people, a lot of artists. Even Lil Yachty said that, you know, he knows his music isn't good, but he said my music is making sure my mom is straight, making sure that my siblings are eating every night. Like, I know that my music isn't that good, but it's what puts food on the table. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact, bro.
So at the end of the day, I feel like Nipsey is just pioneering the way to like allow artists to know that, you know, your music does mean more. Like, you can, like, you don't have to rap forever to be successful. You know what I'm saying? So if I had to ask y'all boys, if Nipsey, well, first, you all know that artists are known for, well, not artists, but like their record labels and like, you know, their family, friends are known for like dropping albums after they pass away.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like this would be a good time to have a, what's it called? A
post-humanist album?
Yeah. Do you think now would be a good time for Nipsey Hussle to, not even Nipsey Hussle, but like for a Nipsey Hussle album to drop after he died, after he passed away?
I mean, it's all about timing because, like I said, before Nip passed, he was working on his other album, and you know, like I said, he was halfway through production. Like I said, I know he had most of those songs completed, but like I said, as we know, after he passed, you know, where do we go after? You know, after for production, and you know, how would he have wanted it? Yeah. Because, like I said, Nipsey was a perfectionist. He wanted a certain sound. He wanted his music to sound a certain way. So now we can't truly get that. We have to go based off of who he had working with him and what possibly Lauren and the family would want. And like I said, like we always talking about the other day, you only get one shot. To me, my biggest opinion is you only get one shot at it. I think that's the most respectful thing to do is one shot and done, because I think you start reaching, you start clout chasing after, you start making multiple, post albums, life after death albums, and like I said, like how people made money off of Tupac. Same thing with Tupac.
You still making money off of Tupac.
Exactly. Like I said, you making songs that probably like the family didn't want to release. That's why the Jackson family, like with Michael Jackson, they don't release music from Michael. Michael got plenty of music involved, but guess what? They don't release it because they got that on a secure tight
Prince
leash.
too. Prince got so much.
Prince got so much music, and like I said, one hit or quitter. That's it, man. That's all. To me, that's all it'll take is one shot, and that's it.
In my opinion, I feel that most artists that do it, they do it because we feel like that artist probably was taken a little too soon.
Yeah.
Probably like Biggie. Biggie probably has one of the most popular posthumous albums. If we can, Life After Death. If we talking about that.
Yeah.
Tupac, he had a pretty big one. Jimi Hendrix, he had a big. Ray Charles, people like that. Of course, they had like big posthumous albums, but I feel like I wouldn't be mad if Nipsey actually had one.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Nipsey was one of those people that was taken too soon, just like a lot of those other artists I just named. So, yeah, I wouldn't really have a problem with it, but if they're trying to do like 4 and 5 and like
continue on,
yeah,
still
like
living.
I just feel like I feel like that's not what
the artist would have wanted.
the artist wanted, because if the artist wanted to release the music, they would have.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. So.
Yeah, I don't like posthumous albums because I feel like Sharon said earlier, like they don't have all the creative control over their album that they're supposed to be releasing. So how you gonna put out something you don't even know the person if they would want that to be put out, or like they didn't have any like future edits. Right. So I mean, I know you mentioned Tupac, Biggie, and even you said Nipsey Hussle. So how do you feel about Mac Miller and if Pop Smoke, young artist that passed away recently? How would you feel if he or if those two like drop? Well, Mac Miller already did, but how do you feel about those posthumous albums for those artists?
Juice WRLD and Pop Smoke.
Yeah. Juice WRLD, Pop Smoke, Mac Miller.
That's tough, man, because especially I know how special Juice WRLD was to Chicago, because a lot of people say that like he was like people loved him in Chicago, like they loved him like they loved Tupac.
Yeah.
In Cali, I was like, when I heard that, I was like, I didn't know he was that much.
So
of
Juice
an
WRLD
impact.
is a Tupac for Chicago.
That's what some people in Chicago. That's how they make it seem. But
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with it, but I just don't want it to become a trend. Every time somebody passes away, every time an artist passes away, we're gonna drop an album before them after they die.
Yeah.
Because I feel like at that point, we're kind of just feeding the pockets of the person that is not even the person that the album is about, or the person that album it is.
Yeah.
We're not even feeding their pockets. We're feeding the pockets that's everybody
else.
around them.
Yeah.
So I don't really agree with that. But I wouldn't be mad if they had an album that they was working on, or they had a collection of music that they had, and they knew that they were going to drop it, but they passed away before they drop it. Then you drop it.
Then that's okay.
That's the only way I like.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But if you just taking music out of the vault, like they had in the vault, and you just taking music out of it and putting it together as a collection and say this is going to be the album, like I just don't really feel like I can agree with that, because I don't know, like we just don't know if that's what they wanted.
Exactly. Yeah,
That's
I agree
my
100%. Yeah. So how do you feel about artists featuring other tracks like after they passed away? Because Drake had Michael Jackson on was that song on Scorpion?
It don't matter to me.
It don't matter to me. Like, how do you feel about artists featuring on like tracks after they pass away? Not even dropping like a whole body of work, but like just being there, but not really being there. I don't like it. I don't promise you. I don't like it.
I mean, if you get the blessing, I think if you're going down that road, I think you need to get the blessing from the family, because that's the ultimate goal. Like, they can possibly still be grieving, and them hearing that constantly of a loved one's voice, like, in a newer track, they know it's not like something that's naturally, like, they didn't get in the studio to make those vocals, and they probably just pull bits and pieces from songs, and they're like, okay, well, I see you was trying to put out a good body of work, but it's not resonating good with me, because that's not natural. That's not what he would possibly put out. And like I said, I think it's up to the family, to me, if that's that's how I would do it. Like, I would ask a blessing from the family if I could be able to feature somebody of that art. Because I think Drake got a lot of pushback from the Jacksons about using that sample or using him in that song. So
Yeah, I didn't like that. And I'm real like, yeah, I didn't like that. And like spiritually, I just feel like let that man rest. Like they gone, let them rest. And I feel like that. I don't know. I just could barely listen to the song.
For real?
Every time I hear it, I just like, dang.
Don't matter.
Yeah, it sound kind of.
It didn't sound like him.
Yeah, it sounded a little. I don't know.
I mean, if Michael wanted to work with Drake, I think he would have already had
Yeah, like,
the
if he
things
said
in line. Like,
If
but
he said it in his will, then that's
Well, Drake claimed that he was going to do some work with Michael, so that may be what it was.
I said you can want to do work with him and actually do work with him.
I feel like if you go put an artist that's passed away on your album, let's put some artists that been gone for a little minute. Like let's put like a Heavy D on the album or something like. Let's not put just like artists that just passed away. Like I don't need no Nipsey feature
Right now.
on the Game album right now. I just don't need that because I feel like that's just what I mean.
But how long is too long though?
Yeah.
Like how long? Like what's the timetable?
That's the thing. I don't know.
I guess
they
it's
got
different for
their
everybody.
If the top, bro, it has to be the right song. It has to be the right. I feel like that's important.
Michael Jackson was gone for a minute.
Yeah, Michael Jackson was gone for a
We
little
hadn't
minute.
made it.
So
You
with the
think that was long enough?
the Nipsey feature, do you feel like the Game rushed that one? Like in your opinion, do you feel like he rushed that or like try to put that together too
Nah,
soon?
because I feel like that's organic. They're from the same city, so
Yeah, that's why I was gonna hit
it's a
that
little
too.
different. They're from the same city. Like they probably have more interaction than we even know about, or the public even knows about. So like to them, it's a little bit different. Nipsey had conversation with the Game that we don't even know.
Right.
So that's a little different.
And the Game was real hurt. Like when the news dropped, like and I saw his
Everybody was hurt.
his IG, and he was driving. You know, he was hurt driving, and you know he pretty much showed his love for Nip. Like I said, he took that pretty hard. Like I think he took that the hardest. Besides Lauren London and like Nip family, like the Game and Nip, like they was real close friends, and like how they always used to talk 24/7, and you know, like I said, everybody agreed differently. So
Ain't about colors.
I ain't lying.
When body start dropping, it ain't about colors no more. Bro.
It's like that's my homeboy. Like
That's
I don't
real.
care what. I think Kendrick Lamar says I don't care what gang color you rep. Like we still men at the end of the day.
Exactly.
If I respect you, we can stop killing each other. That's really what they want for us to continue doing.
I think if they do something with Nip, make sure they give back to the communities he was already helping, because he had a lot of plans when he was taken away. Like he had a whole like development for like low income areas for people that couldn't afford like affordable housing in LA. Y'all know LA is already expensive.
Yeah.
The fact that he was doing it, he was gonna be putting out a lot of his money just to make it affordable for the families.
That's what I'm saying.
So I guess they put him on a album or something. All the money they making, they try to make sure they give him
Do that.
some of it.
First of
That's
all,
gonna be more effective in a feature.
Yeah.
In my
Exactly.
opinion. So let's do that.
And I think that'll be more. It'll be more okay with like diehard Nipsey fans. They'll be like okay with that. I feel like his family would,
That's true.
because that's what he cared about at the end of the day.
So as far as like artists like passing away and then there being I guess a big recognition of like their impact for the city. Like, do you think artists have like a bigger legacy when they pass away versus when they're living? Because as of right now, like we all know Nipsey Hussle as like being the humanitarian that was in Compton.
Right.
But if he didn't pass away, do you think he would still hold that weight today as being recognized?
I feel like he would still hold that weight, but we wouldn't appreciate it as much as we do now.
Yeah, and
That's how
I'm glad you said that because, like I said, a lot of people. I mean, it's definitely fake love that was being shown to me.
Who's showing fake love?
A lot of people
A lot
showing
of
fake
NBA
love.
Young, they asked NBA Youngboy. I don't know if y'all seen the clip, but they asked him. They were just like, "How do you feel about Nipsey Hussle's death?" And he said, "I don't know him, but I pray for the family."
Yeah.
Like that's real. A lot of people wouldn't say that. A lot of people just be
is
like, "Oh, I'm so hurt." Like, 'cause people just feel like they have to be involved.
They
have
have,
to
to compete,
feel-
they have to compete for how who's emotionally drained.
Yeah,
or whatever.
it's a big competition.
Yeah, it's a competition.
That's
We'll
why
see
everybody
everybody.
died. Everybody tried to know them.
When Kobe died,
friends. We were
they-
best friends. I can't stand that. If you didn't know the people before they died,
Yeah.
we were best friends and we talked every day. I just talked to them last week. Okay, everybody ain't best friends with everybody.
That's a fact.
So yeah, like I said, it shouldn't be a competition of I knew them better than you did. Like I said, everybody has a different standpoint in somebody's life. I mean, and it hurts people differently. Like I said, somebody from off the street, or somebody that we know, like, they still y'all friends, even though, like, we like brothers, we like blood, and they might still be like a friend type to you, it's still gonna hurt them in a way. I mean, it might hurt us different, but everybody grieves differently, and it shouldn't be a competition. I think having a competition to see who grieves the worst is like the most disrespectful thing you could possibly do to anybody. I mean, who the hell wants to compete over shit? Like, he was my best friend, you know.
That's true.
I feel like that's what like a lot of artists are starting to realize, that we're only here for we're here on borrowed time. We're not here forever. So artists like like Tory Lanez that really got his rap industry based off of the beef he was having with other rappers. Like, we
That's
all
a
know
fact.
Tory Lanez for like beefing with Drake, trying to beef with like other rappers that he claimed wasn't real Toronto or real Canadian rapper. I don't know what he called them, but I just feel like, you know, like a lot of artists are here, like they say, on borrowed time, man. I think we just need to like direct our attention more to how we can build up like communities, because no one ever heard of Toronto, Canada being a place where musicians make it out of until Drake did it. Now you have Drake, The Weeknd, Nav, Tory. Speaking of Tory got something dropping new, man. Like,
he got some heat for us coming now.
That new Toronto 3.
It's coming.
He said, what, April 10th?
April 10th, yeah.
April 10th.
How do y'all? What are y'all expectations for? Like, how y'all think it's gonna like go as far as like when it releases?
I'm a big Tory Lanez fan, so I feel like what I'm saying is a little biased, but
Sean been a Tory Lanez fan since day one.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, for real. But I feel it's gonna be a solid album. For those of you who don't know, like, his Chicks Tape series is kind of like his more R&B like type of vibe. He's doing a lot more singing, and like in his new Toronto series, he's doing a little bit more rapping. And for those of you who don't know, Tory Lanez is actually a really, really good rapper, but he don't really get like the recognition for rapping, because I think like his first big song that actually made it was Say It.
Mm-hmm.
And that was
you're gonna have to do more than
that was just he was singing on that. So like I got big expectations for this album. I really hope it's be his best album yet, in my opinion. But I feel like it's gonna be a solid 8,
solid piece of work.
7.5, 8 out of 10.
Expecting any features?
Yeah.
Any artists that you think that he would?
I want to hear Drake on the album.
Think all the people going live with gonna be on the album? Like maybe
Probably
I think he got one with Meg on there. He probably got one with Meg.
He needs to have.
That might slap though.
That might slap.
A Meg and Tory Lanez track, bro. You know they both come from that like get out the mud type rapping. Like,
I'm trying to tell you,
coming at your neck.
Yeah, I would like that. I would like that single. Yeah. Start off the summer right, bro.
That would be dope. But I want to hear a Drake track, bro. Like they said that the beef is over. The beef wasn't really a beef at the end of the day. It was a misunderstanding. All this stuff.
Well, Tory was beefing with Drake. Drake wasn't beefing with.
That's
Tory.
what I'm saying, bro. Like, let's get back to the music. Let's stop being so corny and talk about we don't like people because they making good beat, bro. Let's get back to the music.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, let's get back to the music. Give the fans what we need.
So what do you think is going to be that thing that takes Tory to like the next level of like being that artist? Because you all know him as an artist, but what's going to take him to being the artist that you should probably watch out for?
He needs an album. Because at the end of the day, all the big name artists have an album we can point at and say that's their album.
Yeah.
Tory Lanez doesn't have that, in my opinion.
Not even
I feel like with that, it's because all the Chicks Tapes are good.
Yeah.
So it's not like we can just say the Chicks Tape series, but we don't really have like one album that we can be like, that's the album that took Tory Lanez to the next level.
Yeah.
And to kind of piggyback off that, like we know like he dropped Chicks Tape 5 as something like an album, but mainly they're known as a mixtape series.
Yeah.
So you can't naturally, organically, take that as an album.
Right.
Like, the Chicks Tape and the like when he did Love Me Now and I Told You and Memories Don't Die, like.
Those are good, solid albums.
Those are good albums, though.
But they're not the albums that you're gonna remember him
point
by.
to. You're not. Nobody's gonna remember. I Told You.
Yeah, no, because I think my album that I really don't care for by Tory is probably Memories Don't Die. Yeah, like that's my least favorite album by him. Like he could have had a better body of work on that. He did a lot of storytelling. I think he's good in the storytelling realm, but I think he needs that one project like New Toronto 3. I need him to come like hard to show everybody that he's not playing around with rapping and whatnot. So I mean, like I said, I got high hopes for Tory, and like Sean said, I'm expecting to probably be 8, 7.5, around that area. I mean, we're gonna see. I mean, you got to bring that fire, you got to bring that heat.
Yeah, we might have to open back up the hotel. Have a little listener party. You know what I'm saying?
No cap. But Rod Wave dropping the 3rd. He dropped this week. So,
I I need some new raw wave, man.
That's good. I need. Hold on. Let's talk about that for a minute.
What?
Because I feel like we're some pretty big raw wave fans, but what are we expecting for this? Because Ghetto Gospel and what was the other one? They were albums, but they were kind of mixtapes.
Yeah.
If we being real, this is kind of like his
debut.
This is kind of like his first, like, all right, this is my first project.
Yeah.
Especially, what are y'all hoping from that?
I'm hoping for a more detailed outline of like his story. Like I want to see how he came up, all the people that impacted him along the way, where he wants to go in life. You know what I'm saying? You know he has a baby with twins now. I kind of want to hear about what he's doing to like make sure they're straight. I know people like the singing, rapping type thing. And that's honestly how he got to start, but I feel like he can't stay with that forever. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he has to like expand his range a little bit, but if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I'm saying like don't stray away from like what got you in the industry, but like maybe change up what you're talking about. But I ain't gonna lie, bro. I want to hear some bars. I want to hear some like get out of the mud type.
Okay.
Like some heat. Like all that singing, rapping is good, but you can't do it forever.
I think I agree with that.
What do y'all think the title of the album means? I think it's called "Pray for Love."
Pray for love.
I'm like a big analytical kind of. We all are. Like we all kind of big analytical album review type of people. So if we had to dissect what you think "Pray for Love" kind of means, like what would y'all?
I mean, with Rod, you can see a lot of hurt that he's been through.
A lot of hurt.
Rod, when I hear Rod,
like 21, ain't it?
bro.
Ain't like 21 years
He's
old.
a young nigga.
Look, Rod makes you want to like yell out, cry in the car, like beat the steering wheel while you're driving down the highway type stuff. And I'm like, pray for love. When you think about praying for love, think about praying for better days, praying for a more loving environment and surrounding around you. Yeah, more like optimism. Because like I said, he's been through so much, and he's been through the darkness, he's been through the rut and the rain. But probably like this is a lighter project to say, hey, I made it out the gutter. I'm gonna still explain to you like what I've been through.
Yeah.
But these are my brighter days. This is the love that I'm feeling now is at an all-time high that I never felt back in my past. That's how I felt. That I look at it.
You got an old lady, got 2 babies, so really, he got everything he really could want right
That's
now.
what I'm saying,
That's
bro.
love right
Take
there.
care of his mama, so it's just pray for love to me is just like I really feel like he's kind of figuring it out because especially being a young nigga hustling, robbing, stealing, we realize that it's not going to get you to where we want to be.
Right.
Especially if we see like, especially if you come up in the hood, like the dope boys on the corner, that's kind of where you aspire to be.
Those are your heroes.
Yeah, they're paying the bills. They making sure your lights stay on and stuff like that. So like those are kind of like what you aspire to be. But once you realize that is other avenues to go about that, and to get more money. Yeah, like it's kind of to him. I feel like he kind of just like I took the wrong route, but this is where I'm going now. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how I feel like the album was talking about.
Yeah, just the word pray, like, I feel like a lot of times we just, like, I know we all say, like, I'm going to pray for you, like, I'm going to pray that this, like, works out, but prayer is, like, a strong tool, especially, like, times like these and stuff like that. So, how do y'all boys pray? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you, like, get into, like, your prayer? Like, what's the first thing you say? Like, what's your, like, daily routine? I know I have one, but I'm just, like, trying to see where y'all boys at.
But in my opinion, bro, like, with me, I came up in the church where, especially like old school, where they're like, you make it seem like you have to, like, get dressed up and be cleaner than a bar of soap to praise God like that.
For real.
But one thing I really learned from my people is to really like God is just a relationship. Yeah. So if I feel like I can talk to him just like I talk to anybody, like I have a normal conversation. So to me, I just try to make it as organic as possible. Like I don't have to be on my knees to pray every time. I can pray while I'm driving. I can pray while I'm listening to music. I pray while I'm walking. Like you see what I'm saying? So like, in my opinion, that's what I do when I pray. Mm-hmm. I know back in the old days, it used to be like that because I thought I had to actually like.
It was more traditional.
Right. You know what I mean? It wasn't as spiritual, but I feel like now it's just like it's all about the relationship. Yeah. So.
I kind of have, like, a guideline I try to, like, hit on every point when I pray. Like, first, before I, like, go into, like, what I'm asking God for, I always, like, say, God, thank you for waking me up. Thank you for giving me life, health, and strength, like that kind of good stuff. I next go into forgive me of all the sins I know I commit, forgive me all the sins I don't know I commit, and stuff like that. Next I go into praying for other people. I always say, like, bless those that need a special prayer more than I do. Bless the sick and shut in. I know y'all always hear that in church.
That's real though. It's real.
Shut in, you gotta
real.
get them, man.
Now we all sick and shut in.
I see it a little different now.
It's a little different now.
And then, of course, like, you want to pray for the stuff that you aspire to want. But I know I always change my prayer. I always ask my granddad, always this, when I was growing up, my granddad always would, like, whenever he ask something for God, he'll always say, if it's in your will. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I know one of the bigger things is that we always want stuff that we want for us, but we never ask God, like, God, what do you want from me? You know what I'm saying? Like, does my plan align with your plan? You know what I'm saying? So that's really how I, like, try to navigate my prayers. And then always, say bless, my grandparents. A lot of people don't have their grandparents, even their parents still in their lives and stuff like that. So I try to have, like, more of a grateful prayer. I always try to steer away from, like, asking God for stuff, because I don't want to treat God like a vending machine. Like, if I pray these amount of times a day, I should expect something back. Everything that you ask for, you should expect to receive it. If you don't receive it, then obviously you weren't ready for it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what I think about when I think of prayer, and then kind of diving back into pray for love. I feel like that's what Rod Wave was trying to, like, get us to understand that, one of the things that's bigger in his heart and that is on his mind is for love. And, love has different, you can have different love for different things. Like, the love I have for my parent isn't the same as the love I have for my homies. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you can break love in, like, different avenues as well.
Yeah, I think, like I said, kind of like how you said you started off your prayer, I definitely thank God every day, for allowing me to wake up. Because, like I said, every day is not promised. Like I said, it's ticking. Like I said, we never know when it's our time, but when it's our time, I'll be thankful, that God allowed me to see the amount of time that He allowed me to be here for. Like I said, I'm very thankful for, Him allowing me to be in the position that I am in. And, I don't take that for granted. I always thank Him and ask Him to continue to lead me down a path that He sees best fit for me, even though I may not have an understanding of why He's doing what He's doing. I just ask Him, that I walk with Him. I walk by faith, not by sight. And
that's what the book says.
That's what the book says. That's what the good book says.
I'm telling
you. Don't say nothing else but that.
That's what it says.
What they say? What they say? He might show you the road, but might not show you the mountaintop. And sometimes He might show you the mountaintop, but might not show you the road. And like I said, you got to, that's how I take everything. I ask God to, show me how to be a better man. To show me how to be a better friend, a better understanding person, to better knowledge myself and grow. I pray for my friends. I pray for my family. I pray for those that, may not like me. They might have, hatred and discontent with me. But I still pray for, those that may not have, those best blessings for me. Like I said, I think, I know for me, I don't hate anybody. I pray for those, that are less fortunate. I pray for those who are fortunate enough to kind of say, hey, I pray that they have this outlook that even though they can still give back to those that possibly don't have. And I'm thankful for everything that God has, placed in my life. I think one of the biggest, journeys for me with praying is, like, being able to have a consistent prayer life. Understanding that if you can make time in the day for anything else, you can make time in the day for prayer.
It's a relationship, bro.
I'm telling you. And it's a normal thing. Like I said, how you can sit there and you can talk with God like God your homie. Like, hey, God, hey, man, look, I need to holler at you real quick, man. I got a lot going on. I just need somebody to talk to. If you don't got nobody else to talk to, you got God to talk to 24/7.
I'm telling you, bro.
Tell you can call on him whenever you want to. He'll pick up. Like I said, just kind of continue to go with Him. Like I said, praying for, just me. Like, you understand that it's more than just you. Like, it's other things out there that God wants you to see, and not just for you, but for others, and for His will. If it's in His will, He'll let it be done. But like I said, it's always a lesson that God is going to teach you and want you to go down.
Our visiting pastor, Pastor Ravenella Clam, you have any insights on that?
I'll say, like, basically how y'all said, like, well, I don't know. I feel like I didn't really close or, like, real, like, I guess a strong relationship with God until I got to college. I feel like before I got to college,
that's when you need
it was just like the same, like, structure, like, go to church, like, do all this stuff. I feel like I didn't feel God until I got to college, because I was, like, dropped off. Since my freshman year, got here by myself and didn't really know a lot of people. And I started praying. And that's when I feel like I first hear God, like, talk back to me. And I was like, oh, that's what prayer is. I first, like, I started, like, my brother said, like, I used to turn my music on, like, have my gospel music playing in the background. I'm like, let me start praying. But it's really not I know it's not real like that, and I don't even pray every night. Like some people like, make sure I pray. I do not pray every night because I pray all throughout the day. So when it's time to go to sleep, I'm fine. I can go to sleep because I done prayed all day. I be walking to class and be talking to God. I be in class talking to God and just be daydreaming because God, and He'll tell you all this stuff, and I'll be asking for stuff, and God will tell me like why He gonna give it to me, or when He gonna give it to me, or why He not gonna give it to me. And that's another thing. Some people be afraid to like, I want Him to do it. I want Him to do it now. I want Him to do it. God already, He's the author. Somebody told me He's the author of the book. We just got to keep flipping the pages because it's already written. We can't write what God already has. That's what it's saying. That book is already printed out, and we going through it. Like, think about somebody reading the book of Marquise. You just going through it as they're reading it. You can't see the end right now because God has already finished that. So we can't really. And if we do things the way we want to do it, we might change the outcome.
Exactly.
God might have something way bigger. We thinking this thing, I want this car right now. This the biggest thing that's going to happen to me. God probably trying to bless you with a house and 3 cars. Like, you never know. So you really, and that what scares me sometimes when I'm trying to pray for something I want. I'm like, well, let me slow down because I don't know.
Do I need this?
Yeah, do I need that? Is that just a want? Does God want me to have that? Like, you never know.
So what do you say to people that are always praying for, like, why stuff is happening to them? Like, God, I lost my job, I lost my car. Like, what do you say to those kind of people that have different prayers? Like, they're praying for answers to, like, why stuff is happening to them in their lives.
Because maybe God's trying to push them to get a deeper relationship with Him.
Yeah.
Because maybe they're going through this stuff, and you never know who they dependent on. Are they dependent on man? Are they dependent on their family? Like, who are you dependent on when you in this situation?
Sometimes.
So God probably like He knocks you down, but He's gonna bring you to the valley so you can meet Him, so y'all can get to the mountain. You can't get to the mountain by yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to trust the people that's with you, like your family, your brother, your sister. God is He gonna use them as a vessel. So it's not gonna be like, I didn't see God do it, so God's not like it. Don't matter who it is. Mm-hmm. So you can't just expect to be like rich, famous at the top. God, you got to know God somehow. If that's the case, God wouldn't be God.
I look at every situation now like. I don't get upset when things happen or when things don't go my way because I feel like it's all designed.
Yeah.
Like it's all destined to happen for me anyway. So if it doesn't happen today, then it means it's just not the day it's gonna happen yet. It's gonna happen. Like if it doesn't work out the way I want it to work out, if it doesn't happen this semester, that don't mean it's not gonna happen at all ever. But I mean that's just how I look at situations now. I feel like everything is meant to happen for a reason. And I feel like it's all destined. Now, we can definitely change the outcome of that. Yeah. But I feel like there's going to be an outcome of that too. Like it's everything that we do or everything that's done in life, it has an outcome and it's already written.
Kind of like every action has a reaction.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like I just feel like it's all written. So I feel like we just got to take it for what it is. Just be like, all right, well, I'm not supposed to have that right now.
Yeah.
Right. And I do think you get more out of praying for other people than you do praying for yourself.
Definitely.
Like when you naturally happy for somebody else, or naturally not praying for somebody because let me pray for them so I can get no man. That's not how it works. Yeah. You got to pray for them naturally. Like I want to pray for him. I want to pray for her. When you start doing that naturally, God's gonna bless you regardless because you already sowing into other people and caring about other people than yourself. Cause I used to do that too when I was a little boy. I remember the pastor said that. He's like, you need to pray for others and you'll get blessed. And I was like, I want an iPad for Christmas, so let me start praying for
iPad for Christmas?
I started praying for everybody, and that's not how it's supposed to work, but obviously I was little boys, I don't know. But
it's supposed to be definitely genuine. Mm-hmm. Definitely something that comes straight from the heart. Like I said, you don't look to pray for somebody because you're looking for something out of it. Like I said, when I pray for y'all, like I said, I definitely pray for blessings that come y'all way each and every day. For a better understanding of life, even though certain things happen, certain doors close, it's intentions for another door to open. Mm-hmm. That's a bigger blessing for y'all. Like I said, with everything that's coming up for graduation and, even though with everything that's happening right now, kind of pushing everything back and, mm-hmm. It's leading to another alternative. Like I said, it's pushing y'all in a direction to understand that this may be a struggle moment for right now, but it's opening the doors for you to get to somewhere better. Yes. And God's showing you how to work with what you got for right now. I think it's always a lesson in everything that's going on, like this whole situation. Like I think a lot of people need to get back into a prayer life right now. Yeah. Because like I said, it's a rough time, but people don't understand that, with this social distancing thing, I think it's a lot of time for you to get understanding, pray, get in the Bible.
Self-reflection.
Self-reflection.
Definitely. Bro.
And then, like I said, having that conversation, those difficult conversations with one another, that is going to lead to, hey, what do I need to work on with me? What do I need to work on, to make a better friendship, better relationship with, family, friends, other people? So how do y'all feel like, this time has, kind of made you a better person, but also, like, how does it make you approach, like, a friendship, a situation, saying, hey, I need to better myself, or I think these are some things that need to be worked on and whatnot?
Well, to be honest, the reason why a lot of people are struggling in this quarantine and social distancing time period, historic time in our life, is that people don't know who they are outside of other people. So I feel like...
So you're saying people live through other people?
Absolutely. People live through other people.
Other
people,
things.
they live through other things. They don't know who they are without those things attached to them.
Right. And when you take those things away, they don't have an identity.
They're taken away now. So a lot of people don't have their identity. That's why a lot of people are like, this quarantine is so horrible. With a lot of us that are homebodies that stay in the house majority of the time, like, it's not that bad for us.
Yeah.
But to them, it's like the end of the world because they're not
used to this.
Right.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I definitely feel like, I really can't social distance. Like, I'm in, like, an apartment with my roommates, and even my homeboy Sharon over here, and even Eric, he's not here with us right now, but he's holding down Society Hill for us, making sure that, the boys straight. But even with them, I always, like, try to take advantage of, like, the situations that we're in. Like, how can I be a better brother to my brothers? How can I be a better son to my mother or father? How can I fit the roles in that I can fit in a little bit better now that I have a lot more time to myself and a lot more, like Rashawn said, self-reflection. And I mean, even with, like, going back to prayer, I don't want to, like, go back to that and, like, talk about it too much, but I always used to, like, question, like, why is everything happening to me? Like, why do I feel like I'm going through everything under the sun? But a lot of times I feel like, even Pastor Travis Green said this a while back in church at Forest City. He says that everything you go through doesn't necessarily mean it's for you. Maybe, like, to help somebody else. And prime example, say you fail a class your sophomore year, and you go back, you don't know what you're going to do, and you end up passing the class. Now you have somebody, like, we have this thing at USC, we have, like, mentorship is a big thing, especially in the black community and black USC, where you're partnered with someone that has your similar major, taking similar classes with you, and you know their struggle even a little bit more than they know their struggle, you know what I'm saying? Because you know what they're going through. So if you fail a class, you're distraught about it, next semester you pass it, that mentee that is, like, up under you will have some questions about that similar class that you took. So by you failing that class, you're more of an asset to them than what you took for this failing the class. Like, a lot of times I feel like God puts us in these situations to, like, help somebody else along the way instead of, like, just, like, punishing us or, like, how we feel like it may be punishment. You can be the vessel, as Juwan was saying, for somebody else. You may not even know it. You may think that this is not the route that God wants you to take, but God uses us, I feel like, in ways to help other people. And if you really want God to use you, then, that's God using you, you know what I'm saying? So we have to be careful what we pray for, too. But when we say, God, I want you to use me, when God uses you, don't be looking shook.
Don't climb up. Don't climb up when it's time to
get used.
Get the cracking.
He definitely used me. I feel like freshman year and sophomore year, because I was an engineering major, and no, I wasn't. I didn't really want to do that. But I really went through it, and that's when I really was asking God, like, why me? Why am I? I was, like, failing stuff. Like, me and my friend DeLon, he finished his degree, but we was making grades lower than our age. Like, we were failing stuff. And I just
lower than the age.
I done made a test with an 8 on it. I done made a test with 8. Like, and I was like, I don't understand this. Like, I came from South Point, look, top of the class, came and up here. Look, every time I go home, my family like, yeah, we know Toronto, they do it well. Look, do they know I was up there struggling. Like, in my my professor's office, I was crying and stuff. Like, I really was going through it.
Yeah.
And it was really a big deal for me to change my major. But after that, like, being an orientation leader, I used to always, like, stress, like, don't be afraid to change your major.
Yeah.
With, like, how you said, mentoring. Like, and a lot of people told me after, you encouraged me to change my major. And I was like, that.
Now they have better.
Kind of what Q said is what God was using me. Even though I didn't really want to go through that. But God used me.
So, yeah. I feel like one person in particular that we can all agree that we need to pray for is Lil Boosie.
Yes, Lord.
Lil Boosie been going fool.
Bro, Boosie is funny, though. Boosie is hilarious.
Hey, Boosie for running for president for 2020, bro.
I ain't voting for him.
I definitely can't vote for him, boy. It can be a
I
struggle.
voted for Kanye. What's the vote for Lil Boosie?
Yeah, after Boosie pulled up shenanigans a few months ago
Oh yeah.
Oh, talking about with the Good Brothers and Cap Alpha Incorporated.
I still love Boosie, but he ain't had to do all that. Now.
So wait, is Boosie not the Noops or he is the Noops?
Boosie is definitely not the dude. But I think his brother is though.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why a lot of us feel like he was doing it for publicity.
Yeah.
Because he know better. But I think his brother's a noob though.
What about Pop Smoke? Rest in peace. You know the dead. What about Pop Smoke?
I don't know if I have a comment on that situation. I mean, I like Pop Smoke, so
No, I ain't talking about Pop Smoke in general, but I'm just asking.
yeah, I know what you was getting at. I just don't know. Yeah.
I think he has a brother that's the Noops too, right? He has.
Does he?
Yeah, I think it's a family member. Some kind of family ties where he's affiliated with the Noops.
Okay.
But
Well, we have to realize that just because our family is affiliated with organizations, that don't mean we are.
I'm about
to say if that's the case, I'm affiliated with all kind of organizations if we want to talk.
Now you're definitely right.
So you got a family member that comes strolling to the party, be like, oh shoot, hey, let me holler at you.
I thought it was cool, man. You was doing that. I want to dance like you.
And I ain't talking about the organization that be strolling.
Hey, look, let me holler at you.
Shoot.
Oh. You talking to the good brothers.
The 75.
I thought you talking about the base.
That's what I thought you were talking about you.
I wasn't talking about them.
I thought you were talking about the lie.
I wasn't talking about them. I was talking about the blood bishops.
The Blood Bishops.
Blood bishops. All right.
That's the best fraternity right there. Well, I ain't gonna say that's the best, but that's one of the best.
I'm just gonna leave that way at that.
Go ahead and leave that way.
But nah, man, I feel like Lil Boosie really been acting more crazy because of his coronation.
Definitely. He been doing it because he bored at the house.
Yeah, I mean everybody just been hopping on live. Like, normally you see, just the norms on, IG Live, but now you got Tory, you got Boosie, you got a lot of the rappers that's getting on live. They doing these twerk shows, having these women, flash them and do all kind of crazy stuff on
How do y'all feel about that? Like, how do y'all feel about these women or Boosie recruiting?
I mean, it's entertainment.
Yeah.
To be honest, that's really all it is. But I mean, they ain't no girls that I know, so I don't think it's really affecting us that bad.
What if it was?
What if it was what?
A girl that you knew on there?
I'd be like, well, damn.
A girl that I knew? I mean,
it's
a girl I knew.
It's different levels to this question.
That's
I just want to
yeah.
get to like, if there was a girl that you knew that decided to partake in Boosie's live Instagram, and you know what he does on his live Instagrams, how would y'all look at her different? Would y'all still be cool with her? Like,
I mean,
I feel like I'll still be cool with her.
I'll probably joke at her. Hey, bro.
At this point, everybody laid off. So you got to get the buddy out.
I'm about to say, but if that's your girl, that's different. That's different.
So you wouldn't let your girl or your significant other or a person you're talking to get on Boosie's Instagram live?
Hell to the no.
I mean, they ain't gonna do whatever they want to do, but if they ask me, I'm gonna give them my opinion. I'm gonna say,
you right.
Don't do it, please.
Don't do it, please.
But I mean, it's
these girls don't get on there just to get on there. Like, they get on there for monetary.
Yeah, I've seen some of them get on there for like $50, $20, $30.
That's not enough to convince you.
Nah,
absolutely not.
How much will it be to convince you? Like, if Boosie said, "Hey, I want your girl to show up on my live, and I give her $1 million right now."
To do what? To do what? What she got to do?
I thought she didn't.
What she got to do?
It don't matter what she got to do. $1 million.
What does she have to do? What does she have to do?
You know what Boosie asks these girls to do?
Wait, I mean,
to show the secrets.
Yeah, show the secrets, show the cookies.
As long as I get a chip in the money in that, I mean,
I'm about to say if you don't show it, I will.
That's me. You better go ahead and show it. Hey, go ahead and show it.
For $1 million, bro?
Yeah.
Come on now.
You can't be bad.
You can't beat that.
Come on now. I'm not gonna be that bad at you for $1 million.
You know how many people don't see $1 million in their lives, and Boosie's willing to give you that for like 5 seconds?
I said, well, go ahead now.
I'm about to say it's just on the phone.
Yeah,
it's just like a sneak peek, or if it's like a long.
I don't know how long they got to show it.
I don't know how long the duration of.
But like when something's on the internet or on social media, it's there forever.
It's there forever.
Screen record, everybody.
Sheesh. That's a question for you.
Yeah. That's a question for $1 million.
I think we have to do it for $1 million.
Yeah,
$1 million definitely.
Can't settle less for that.
Can't sell less for that.
$50. It ain't $50. It ain't worth. It ain't worth $50
Not for 50.
I can settle for less than $1 million.
I'm about to say 500,000. I'll probably do it still.
But we ain't
shoot 100,000.
Now
I did it. Come on now.
Now we talk about like 500. 500 going a day. That's a deal right there. I'm telling you.
That's
No.
I mean, so like, if that was the only option at this point, I mean, I'm pretty sure, like during this quarantine, if Boosie just said like, "Hey, I just want your girl to show up on my live," and like that's it, I would do it. I would let my girl do
for
it.
some money, right?
Yeah, for some money, for some monetary value.
I already told you. If she,
But how would you present that to your girl, though?
First of all, we're not saying our girl's worth anything.
Yeah. I was about to hit to the point.
that's
I was
true.
like, what's
That's
up?
true. That's true. Now
She's worth well more than $1 million.
we're not saying that.
We're not saying
That's
that.
definitely not what
We
we're
ain't
saying.
trying to say we trying to sell you for some money. We ain't saying that at all.
But if the opportunity presents itself,
If the
and we
opportunity
are struggling
presents itself.
financially,
If we can make a profit off the situation,
Well, they gonna say, would you do it?
Would I do it? No,
If
for
you
$1
ask-
million, I sure would.
Why would Boosie be asking for
No,
me?
not Boosie. Somebody else.
If
Like,
Meg Thee
say-
Stallion
say
asked
like
me to
Meg Thee
get
$1
Stallion.
million,
shit, if Meg pay me $1 million, boy,
I would
I'll be on
definitely
that butt booty
So
ass
I even
nigga.
asked my girl. I said, baby, look what I got. I tell her after the fact.
Yeah, I showed her money.
Cash app. That's how you'll
Show
see.
me my money. I showed her money.
Show me my money. Or bring me my money, one or two.
Bring me my money.
Shoot.
So how would y'all even present that? Like Boosie just told you to tell your girl. What would you tell your girl?
I'll let Boosie explain it. I'll
No,
bring her into
Boosie
it.
said you gotta tell her.
I'll tell her. I'll like, come here. We got.
Come here.
I said we gotta meet. Let me holler at you real quick.
Situation right now. You in class? Okay, get out of class.
Hey, run to the bathroom real quick.
Now I want you to think about where we at right now in life, and I want you to think about where we can go.
No, that's the time when you're on FaceTime and they have you on pause. You be like, look at me real quick.
No, for real.
Look, I need you to look at me for what I'm about to tell you. But yeah, for $1 million, absolutely. 500,000, absolutely.
So what if she do it and she leave you after?
She ain't leaving me.
So she go what?
What if she leave you after?
That
Like, what if
mean-
she don't give you nothing?
That mean that was
Hold
never your
on.
girl in the first place if she do
It
that.
wasn't.
If you being real, if she do that,
I ain't saying she'll go.
God, dog. I'm just saying.
It better be for $1 million. If she leave me for anything less than that,
I'll pray
I'm
for her.
about to say I was gonna get that next year.
I was gonna get it.
I'm about to say you leave it, all right.
But I think this pretty much wraps up, the podcast. Appreciate y'all tuning in for our lockdown series part 2.
Yes, sir.
We'll make sure to have a couple more hot topics to talk about. We're gonna be having a Q&A coming up soon. We're gonna have a little gift for y'all at one of these podcasts. We're gonna be having some pretty dope interviews coming up soon with some Columbia natives and even some people that we know that are pretty cool amongst the community. So like I always say, peace, love, happiness. Y'all be safe out there. It's your boy QSAF signing out.
You already know. Stay blessed. Prepare for the best. And just always love your neighbor. Send blessings out. Pray for one another. And it's your boy Trick or Treat Night.
Hey, tough times don't last. Tough people do. Raider Rashad, we out.
All right. I can't say nothing after that. People of God, y'all know.
And we're going to just tell our other brother, Eric Rupert,
What's that thing that Eric always be saying?
even though the troubles may last.
Wait, what is it?
I don't know.
Joy comes in the morning. I know that's
Joy
right.
comes in the
Joy
morning.
comes
Even
in the
though
morning.
troubles may last, joy comes
Weeping
in the
may
morning.
endure for a night,
Yeah.
but joy comes in the morning.
Amen.
That's what it say.
That's easy E for you right there.
All right, y'all. Y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay safe out in these streets. Waited 8. We out.
Yes, sir.